She had $20 and two hungry daughters on Christmas Eve. Then the Hells Angels walked in, and everything changed. On Christmas Eve, in a small restaurant by the road glowing with dim holiday lights, a mother sat frozen with fear and love mixed in her chest. Emily had only $20 in her pocket and two little girls counting bites instead of dreams. They shared one plate, one cup of hot chocolate, and a hope she was scared to believe in. When the door opened and a group of Hell's Angels walked in, the room went quiet and Emily's heart sank even lower. She thought people would judge her. She thought shame would follow. But what she didn't know was that one man in leather was about to notice her shaking hands, her children's fake smiles, and the quiet courage of a mother doing her best. That night, kindness would walk across the restaurant floor and turn a desperate Christmas into a miracle. Subscribe for stories that prove good people still exist when you need them most. Christmas Eve pressed down on the small restaurant like a held breath. Outside, snow drifted past the windows in soft, sorry flakes. Inside, the air smelled of coffee, fried potatoes, and something sweet that reminded people of better days. Emily sat stiffly in a wooden booth, her hands shaking as she unfolded a thin, wrinkled menu. Across from her sat her twin daughters, Sophie and Anna, their matching blonde hair tucked behind their ears, their blue eyes looking not at the food pictures, but at her face. Emily forced a smile she didn't feel. In her coat pocket, folded and unfolded a dozen times already, was a single $20 bill. That was it. Rent was late. The power bill was overdue. Christmas gifts didn't exist. And yet she had promised her girls one warm meal on Christmas Eve, somewhere bright, somewhere that didn't smell like worry. Sophie leaned closer and whispered that she was fine with just fries. Anna nodded quickly, saying she wasn't even that hungry. The words cut Emily deeper than hunger ever could. She glanced around the restaurant, noticing families laughing, couples sharing plates, the quiet clink of silverware against ceramic. Then the door opened and the mood shifted. The bell above the door rang, sharp and sudden, followed by the heavy sound of boots on tile. A group of men walked in, broad-shouldered leather vests dusted with snow, patches stitched proudly across their backs. Hell's Angels. Conversations dipped, a few heads turned. Emily felt her chest tighten. She pulled the menu closer, trying to make herself smaller, invisible. The girls noticed the men, too. Anna's hand slid into Emily's sleeve, clutching it. Emily swallowed hard, reminding herself not to judge, not to assume. Still, fear is stubborn when life has already beaten you down. The waitress walked up, cheerful but tired, and asked if they were ready. Emily's eyes scanned the prices one last time. She ordered carefully, painfully. One plate of pancakes to share, extra water, no drinks. The waitress nodded, already turning away when Sophie spoke up, her small voice brave but shaky, asking if they could please have one hot chocolate to share because it was Christmas. Emily closed her eyes for half a second, doing the math she already knew by heart, then nodded. "One hot chocolate," she said softly. As the waitress walked away, Emily felt the familiar burn of tears and blinked them back. She would not cry here, not tonight. Behind her, the Hell's Angels settled into a long table. Their laughter was low, rough, but not mean. One of them, a tall man with graying hair and a beard, watched Emily's table quietly. He noticed how she tore sugar packets in half, how she slid most of the pancake toward the girls, how she pretended to eat while only sipping water. He noticed the way the twins kept glancing at her, worried instead of excited, like children far older than their years. When the food came, Emily thanked the waitress too many times. She broke the pancake into careful pieces, counting bites in her head. The hot chocolate arrived last, steam curling upward, and she pushed it toward the girls, insisting they drink first. As they ate, Emily's gaze drifted to the small Christmas tree in the corner of the restaurant, its lights flickering softly. She thought of her husband, gone 2 years now after a workplace accident that took more than his life, taking stability with it. She thought of promises she couldn't keep and prayers that felt unanswered. She didn't notice the tall biker stand up. She didn't see him walk toward the counter, then toward her table. She only looked up when a shadow fell across her plate. Her heart skipped. Slowly, she raised her eyes. The man's expression wasn't hard. It was thoughtful, almost gentle. He nodded once like he'd made a decision. Emily braced herself, unsure of what was coming, unaware that this Christmas Eve was about to change in a way she could never have imagined. The man cleared his throat softly, not wanting to scare them. Emily's fingers tightened around her fork as she looked up at him, her mind racing through apologies she hadn't yet spoken. Before she could say a word, he smiled, a small, real curve of the lips that didn't match the tough leather and inked arms. He pointed toward the girls. "Mind if I sit for a second?" he asked. His voice was calm, steady. Emily hesitated, then nodded, unsure why she did. He pulled out the chair across from her and sat down, resting his forearms on the table. Sophie and Anna stared at him with wide eyes, curiosity overtaking fear. "Christmas Eve dinner," he said lightly. Emily described it as best she could, her voice thin, apologizing without meaning to. The man listened, really listened, his eyes never leaving her face. When she finished, embarrassed by her honesty, he reached into his vest and pulled out his wallet. Emily's breath caught. "No," she said quickly, shaking her head. "We're fine. I didn't mean," he held up a hand gently. "I know," he said, "this isn't charity." He stood, walked to the counter, and spoke quietly with the waitress. Minutes later, plates began appearing on the table. Real plates, turkey, mashed potatoes, vegetables, warm rolls, another hot chocolate, then dessert. Emily stared, stunned, tears spilling freely. "Now why?" she whispered. The man sat back down, his eyes shining. "Because years ago," he said, "I was that kid sitting with my mom, counting bites, hoping no one noticed." He glanced back at his table where the other bikers watched silently. "We look rough," he continued, "but we're family men, daughters, sons. Christmas is about remembering that." One by one, the other Hell's Angels stood and came over, setting down wrapped gifts they'd bought earlier for a charity ride. Small toys, warm scarves, a stuffed bear. Sophie gasped. Anna covered her mouth. Emily broke completely, sobbing into her hands as the girls laughed and cried at the same time. The restaurant went quiet, then something shifted. Someone clapped, then another. Soon the whole room was applauding, not for the bikers, not for the gifts, but for the moment itself. The tall man stood, placing a gentle hand over his heart. "Merry Christmas," he said simply. When they left, the restaurant felt warmer somehow. Emily hugged her daughters tighter than ever, realizing that hope hadn't abandoned her after all. It had just arrived wearing leather. If this story touched your heart, subscribe and stay with us because there are still countless moments of kindness waiting to be told.